Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, so today we're jumping into a story that honestly feels like it was ripped straight from a group chat. It's this modern fable all about trust, messy friends, and a date that was this close to going completely sideways.
So let's just set the scene here with a dilemma that I think a lot of us can probably relate to, maybe a little too well. Imagine this. You've got a date, you're actually excited about it, and then, poof, it gets canceled. And right on cue, your friend hits you with a bombshell. Oh, I saw him out with someone else. What do? Who do you trust? The friend? Or that little voice in your head? It's a tough spot, right?
All right, so at the center of all this is our main character, Sonia. And she's met this guy who, seems to check all the boxes. He's nice, he's kind, handsome. After a little bit of talking, she finally agrees to go on a date. And you can just feel that excitement, that hope building up.
So the plan is set, she's getting ready, she sent her address, it's go time. And then her phone buzzes. But it's not the text she's waiting for. It's not the be there in 5. He cancels. Just gone. And all that excitement just deflates, right? And you're left with that awful sinking feeling and just so many questions.
Okay, and this is where things go from just, a bummer of a night to full-blown drama. So what does Sonia do? She does what we all do, right? She calls her friend to vent. But this friend, Toya, she doesn't just offer sympathy. Oh no. What she does is more like tossing a grenade into the situation.
So instead of just saying, ugh, what a jerk, Toya takes it to a whole other level. She says, I saw him. He was out with another girl. And then, this is the real kicker, she says, I have pics. See, that's not just gossip anymore. That's positioned as cold, hard evidence. It's the kind of thing that's meant to just shut it all down right then and there.
And right here, this is the first huge red flag. But it's not about the guy. It's about the friend. Sonia keeps asking for the photos. Okay, send them to me. But the pics never show up. So all she has is this really toxic story from her friend and literally zero proof to back it up. Now, this next part tells you everything you need to know about Sonia. Her first thought, pure anger. She wants to call him, just go off on him. But she doesn't. She stops herself. Instead of just spiraling out, she does something so practical, it's kind of brilliant. She takes the new outfit back to the store, gets a refund, and buys groceries for the house. She picks being practical over a big, emotional scene she might regret later. So a few days go by, and it's just radio silence. No text, no explanation, nothing. At this point, Sonia has every single reason to believe her friend's story and just write this guy off forever. But just when you think the story's over, it takes a completely unexpected turn. So picture this, right? It's just a normal night. She's making noodles for her kids. Life is just moving on. And then there's a knock at the door. She asks who it is, and the answer she gets is probably the last name she ever expected to hear. It's him.
And the way he shows up, it says everything before he even says a word. He's not just there with some lame excuse. No, he came prepared. He's got burgers and fries, snacks, drinks, and, this is the genius part, board games for her kids. That's a move that says, hey, I'm thinking about you and your family, not just himself.
Okay, so after this guy shows up with a whole feast, Sonia's mind is just reeling. And what do you do when you're totally confused and need a gut check? You call your sister. So she calls Lacey to try and figure out what in the world is going on.
So Sonia tells her everything, the date getting canceled, Toya's crazy story, and then the surprise visit. And her sister's reaction isn't what you'd expect. She doesn't gasp, she laughs. Lacey totally gets it. She knows that any guy who shows up with food and gifts for the kids, he just made all the right moves.
And just like that, it all clicks for Sonia. She tells her sister, yep, the messy friend was Toya. And in that one moment, it becomes so clear. This wasn't Toya trying to protect her. This was straight-up sabotage. Probably because, misery loves company.
And of course, Lacey doesn't hold back. She's like, I told you, I've been warning you about her for ages. She reminds Sonia of all the little signs of jealousy she'd pointed out before. It's that classic, kind of annoying, I told you so moment that, let's be honest, only your sibling can really get away with.
But then, the final piece of the puzzle drops. And it is a doozy. We finally find out why he was silent, what really happened with the canceled date. Turns out Toya didn't just lie about seeing him with another girl. Oh no, it's worse. She actually tried to make a move on him herself. Her whole plan was to sabotage Sonya's chances so she could swoop in. Just wow. And lucky for everyone, it completely blew up in her face.
So, after all that, this whole roller coaster of suspicion and betrayal, and then this really nice surprise, what's the big takeaway here? What do we learn from all this? Well, it really all comes down to trust. Who we trust and why we trust them.
And in the end, Sonya is just left feeling so relieved. She's got this potential new guy who really showed up for her, her kids are happy with their games, and now she has a very, very clear picture of who her real friends are. And she realizes she dodged a massive bullet, but the bullet wasn't the guy. It was the friend she was supposed to be able to trust.
You know, this whole thing really taught her a few big things. First, trust your gut. If a story sounds fishy, it probably is, just like Toya's did. Second, a real friend's actions build you up. They don't tear things down. And the fact that she just waited, that she didn't fly off the handle, that's what saved everything. And finally, she learned that one single thoughtful action can mean so much more than a whole lot of gossip.
So this whole story kind of leaves us with a big question to think about, doesn't it? In this world of screenshots and rumors flying around, how do you know what's real? If you were in her shoes, what would you have done? Would you have believed your friend's crazy story? Or would you have had the patience to wait and see for yourself? It's a good reminder that a lot of the time, the biggest messes come from the people we think we know best.